Joining me today is probably the heart and soul and lifeblood of Salisbury Athletics, Tim Smith. Tim, how you been doing?
I've been doing good. It's been a strange year. COVID has definitely thrown a wrench in the athletics plans, but we've done a good job of trying to make sure the students have something to do for this fall semester and hopefully for the spring semester. So.
Yeah, that's for sure. With COVID and kind of running rampant throughout this whole 2020, especially with the sports stopping and lockdowns, things like that. How you been keeping busy during all the craziness of 2020?
Actually, it started in the spring of 2020 when we first got the word that campus was closing down for spring break. I was like, this is a strange feeling. I've never had a spring break where I haven't had to do any work. I didn't know really what to do. I went to Ohio to visit my parents. I was never really get a chance to do that in the spring, so I surprised them a couple times during the summer as well. Um, it was a weird summer. I was the only one in the building most days because the building was closed down, the campus was closed down, and I assumed building manager roles because our building manager lived in Delaware and he wasn't going to come to Salisbury every day just to see what the building was doing. And we had some construction going on in the pool, so I said I would do it just in case they needed me to be here for anything. So basically, I wasn't really doing much during the summer, just coming into work for a few hours, seeing if they need anything, and then going home. The fall semester, when it started, it started off kind of weird. We didn't have preseason, and that's usually a lot of hours for me, so I didn't have to work long hours in. So with any teams practicing, I decided to do some volunteer. We did the freshman check-in for or the students moving on campus. So it was freshmen checking in, anybody else living on campus. So I volunteered to help with that all 5 days of that. I volunteered some time for that. And then when we did COVID screenings, I volunteered for that just to keep busy, to help out on campus because I had a lot of free time. And then when practices started, they weren't practicing as much as they usually did. It was like some teams would practice 4 days a week, some would practice 5 days a week. But Saturdays and Sundays, Saturdays there was no games. There was a couple practices here and there. Sundays no games. It was different, but it was a nice different because I'm usually working 80 hours a week. So now it dropped down to a regular 40-hour a week work week for me. So, and then I also kept the building manager duties because we didn't hire back our evening manager. So I still worked in the evenings as the building manager to help the graduate assistants who were the supervisors, to help them through because they weren't really sure what to do. So I would just help them and show them what to do, what they needed to do as supervisors, and make sure the students were doing what they needed to do as the student workers. So.
Yeah, you definitely showed off your versatility with picking up some extra duties a little bit while there's the sports and games have been going on. But it's kind of going back to what you said about working weekends. We're usually busiest during the weekends, and having no games during the weekend is pretty weird and surreal. Definitely this fall.
Yeah, it was weird. Like every Saturday this fall, I was home by 8 o'clock at night. I was like, I'm not used to being home so early. I don't know what to do. Usually I'm working till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, getting all the laundry done, and I didn't have to do that. I was like, oh, this is a different feeling to have. So.
Um, So you said you've worked 80-hour weeks, things like that. You've been involved with SU athletics for the better part of 20 plus years. Like I said in my open, you're pretty much the heartbeat, the lifeblood of Salisbury athletics. What influenced you to kind of take a career in collegiate athletics?
It started my junior year of high school. I was trying out for our basketball team, and the assistant basketball coach came to me and said, you have okay talent. You're not really going to make the team. So you started too late. You're really not going to develop any good skills that you need to develop. You're going to be so far behind everybody else. If you want to just start off and be a manager, we could use you as a manager for the team. And if you like that, you could do that in college, and you could even make a professional career out of it, and you're still going to be involved in athletics. And I thought, that's a great idea, because I did start out liking athletics a little too late in my career. So I just started doing the managing for the basketball team. I loved it. I went to college. I was an equipment manager for 4 years as a student equipment manager. And once I graduated, my boss, that was the equipment manager where I went to school, he decided he didn't really want to be the equipment manager anymore. So he told our athletic director that I should probably take over for him, and got the job there. And then I applied for the job at Salisbury, and just by chance, I got lucky. I had a couple great interviews, and they offered me the job. I didn't really think I had a chance to get it because I thought I was really too young to get it. And I just love being around athletics. I love watching the athletes grow, and it's a lot of fun to see that.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the cool things about working in collegiate athletics. Seeing people grow throughout their 4 or 5 years when they're here at SU is pretty cool feeling. So you've been around, like I said, for 20 plus years, been seen a lot of different things. What is probably your favorite memory of your time at SU?
Whew. I guess I'm going to group them all together. It's seeing the athletes participate in national championship games or national championship weekend. It's a culmination of their year of hard work, and seeing them actually perform in that championship weekend. It's something that I enjoy seeing the students get that experience, because it's something I want every student athlete at Salisbury to get to experience, because that's probably the best experience you could have in your college career, is playing for a national championship and actually winning the national championship. My first national championship happened in 1995 with our men's lacrosse team, and that was a pretty exciting experience. And I got a ring out of it for some odd reason. I was like, I didn't really do much, but I'll take a ring. and then just seeing them experience the national championships through the years that they've had, and then field hockey getting breaking through and getting their national championships, and then women's lacrosse finally breaking through and getting their national championships, and then some of the track teams getting their individual national champion. It's something I love seeing them do, participating on that national stage and actually winning the championships. It's something that I enjoy seeing the athletes have.
Going back to more of a personal level, now what's your favorite sport to watch or even play in or participate in?
My favorite sport to watch is probably the one that everybody hates to watch, is baseball. I love baseball. I love the intricacies of, there's a run on first. What do you do? What's the defense you're running? There's so many different defenses you could run. Are your outfielders, are they playing shallow? Are they going to play deep? What are you going to do? 2 outs. What's the situation? There's so many situations that are going on through the game and things that are happening. I just love watching all that unfold throughout the game, and it's just so fun to watch, fun for me to watch. I understand why some people don't like it, because if you're watching it on TV, sometimes I do fall asleep. I'm like, oh, this is a boring game. And sometimes I've fallen asleep at a baseball game. I was like, this is a really boring game. And but for the most part, a lot of the games are really exciting. So I just watch them. I like watching that.
I totally get that. Baseball, my favorite sport too, and it's a little harder to watch now as an Oriole fan the past couple of years. But it's.
I'm a Pirates fan, so I know that feeling too.
So we talked a little bit about your favorite sport. Now, what's your favorite athletic memory outside of SU?
I think my most favorite memory was when a team I coached at Adrian College, where I went to school. I was a student assistant coach, and we got inducted into the Hall of Fame. So going back to the campus and going through the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and I'm actually a part of a Hall of Fame now. I was like, this is a pretty cool experience. I'm really happy I got to experience that. And then, at Salisbury, when we have our Hall of Fame banquets and everything, I like seeing those are my favorite things to attend now, is seeing the athletes get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And everybody says that I'm going to get in the Hall of Fame at Salisbury, and I was like, well, I've been here for 26 years. I think it's pretty much written in stone that I'm going to get in the Hall of Fame. I just have to retire first, but we'll wait for that to happen. But it's it's like, I tell Pat Lamboni, our athletic trainer, I was like, I tell him he's going to get in the Hall of Fame too, and he's like, I don't deserve it. I said, well, you've been here for 30 years. You're going to get in. It's written in stone. If you've been here for longer than 10 years, you're pretty much guaranteed in the Hall of Fame. So
we hope to see that day sometime. hopefully not soon, but hopefully the day will come when we
Well, I
see.
just turned 50, so I'm getting my AARP, products in the mail, and I'm throwing those away because I don't feel like I'm 50 yet. But I am 50, so it's around the corner. It's closer than it used to be.
I totally get that. Maybe my last question for you is there any kind of person or individual that has motivated you the most throughout your career here at SU?
I would have to go and say Dr. Mike Vienna has been the most positive experience in my career here at Salisbury. And, I worked with him for 15, 20 years here at Salisbury. He hired me when I came here. He was always had my back with anything that I was going through. In 2001, I got burnt out with a job here. I resigned. I worked with the Shorbers for the summer. The person that took my spot here didn't like the position. He didn't get along well with the coaches here. They sort of butted heads every day, and he actually only lasted 3 months here. He left in October, and they brought me back, and he was like, "Look, we'll take this year to year. We'll see how it goes. If you want to stay, we want you to stay. If you choose to leave, we'll do whatever you want to do." But after that, he was always had my back, trying to make sure that I was feeling comfortable, making sure I had everything I needed, and just being a huge mentor to me throughout my career. And it was sad to see him leave. I understood why he wanted to leave, but he was always a positive influence on my career here at Salisbury, and he helped me get my start here. So it was something personal there. It was like he saw something in me that I probably didn't see, and just had gave me that chance.
All right, Tim. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me and doing this interview. This is actually something I really wanted to do for a while. They didn't really have the heart to ask you because I know you don't really want to put spotlight on you that much. But
Yeah, I try to stay out of the spotlight as much as possible. I was like, just let everybody else have their shine. So had to twist my arm to do this one, but I guess I gave in.
Thanks again, Tim, and hopefully we'll see you back on the courts or on the sidelines and in the spring and in years to come.
Thanks for having me, and